Sorry, my mouse pad is broken, and so like I have to use an actual mouse, and it's so irritating. Sandbox. Okay. So I'm gonna start a new project. I'm just gonna call it blog. My blog. And it's gonna bundle install. My blog. Civil. Okay. So here's pretty much standard Rails app. Let's say that we want a app that you can post blog posts but there isn't like a sense of user or anything along those lines. Sorry, I had to hit hide or something. So where do I start?
You would have to set up the database.
Okay, so
you go.
Wouldn't you just do Rails new model? No, that's set up a model.
Okay, so yeah.
If you create a new model, it'll create the migration. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm gonna handicap ourselves a little bit just for the sake of thoroughness. Let's pretend that you can't use any Rails helpers other than the migration creation. So there's a helper called Rails G migration, and then you can say, so we want to create the post table, right? So if I do Rails G create posts, it's going to create a migration file for me. And the only reason why we can't get around this is because it has this lovely timestamp that I don't want to manually have to write out. Okay, so I'm going to go to create posts. Does this look correct? Do I need to add anything? Do I need to remove things?
So you're going to need to add like a title field, a body field. So for the title, I think it would t.string and then colon title. T.text colon body, and then you're gonna need to do like t.create or t. Is it integer? I think, and then created at.
Oh, okay. So there's one.
Timestamp.
Timestamp. So Jackie, what does t.timestamp do? I think that's right.
I think that's just the timestamp data type, which. Oh no, timestamp doesn't it? Yeah, doesn't it just isn't that just a data type?
So timestamp will create two columns, the created at and the updated at columns. Timestamps plural. Yeah. So so if I were to do Rails G model and then I put posts and then I said title string body text, it would it would conflict. So let me just remove that. Yes. So Rails G model post title string body text. So that's gonna create this thing right here. So create post, and that's where the timestamp stuff comes in. So whenever you use the model generator, it'll automatically add that for you, but if you're creating something from scratch, then you need to add that yourself. Okay, and then so
how come it says null false, but then I've seen instances where it says like created at.
what's that?
So how come it says null false?
I think this is an option so that it lets Rails know that this field shouldn't be false, and therefore
Oh.
It should automatically add the updated and created at timestamps for you. Otherwise, like every time you update the record, you're gonna have to do it yourself, which is kind of a pain.
So when you run the migration and then look at the schema, it'll say created at in quotes and then updated at, right?
Yeah, let's see. So how do I test that out?
Just
Can you migrate the database first and then
Okay, so
check?
do rate db migrate,
yeah,
and then what?
and then look at the.
Rails console? Can you see in Rails console?
Yeah.
Create a new one.
Let me install Pi so it's a little bit prettier. Okay, so I'm in the console.
You would create a new instance.
So like posts.new.
Well, .create. Well, post.new.
Yeah, but we're getting an error.
Oh, yeah. You could set it like something. You could like little post equals post.create, and then you could like give it a name and a title and see. It's gonna work. Uninitialized constant post. Oh. Uninitialized constant.
What does that error tell you?
Tells you.
Take
No.
a guess.
Oh, it says that you're referring to a class that doesn't exist.
Right. So if I go to app models, there's nothing in here. So what do I have to do?
Do you have to create the model?
Yeah, so let's just add a new file, call it posts.rb.
And then it's class post, right?
Yeah. And then it's gonna active record base. Cool. And I can just hit reload, and then now I can do posts. Yeah. Okay. So post.new, or you want post.create first? So yeah, it does that automatically for you. Cool. All right. So we got our model, and we got the table set up. What's next?
After that, then we're gonna want to create our routes.
Okay. So I'm gonna go to the route file. Read all this down. Then what?
Is it get post, get colon post?
Okay. And
Or is resources? Could you do resources post?
yes. So we could do resources posts,
But you don't want us to use resources, right?
but yeah, let's go the long way.
Okay.
So what does this give you? So /posts will point to where?
The root /posts.
So what am I typing right here?
get. Oh, okay. You're trying to tell it where to go. Get
Yeah. So
Then we'll want to do post hashtag index.
cool. And then I'm just gonna add our helper here, which is posts. So this is the helper method. So that allows you to then in the controller do post path or posts URL. Or so if you were to do then it would be magic path
Oh.
first and magic URL. Okay. What's the difference between path and URL?
I've never seen -URL. I don't think.
Justin, want to take a guess?
I would think that URL is more specific than just path.
That's true, but like that was a really good guess. So this one will give you back the server name as well. So it will be like localhost 3000, and then it will be posts. This one will only give you the relative path. So I guess.
Okay.
When I deploy it to Heroku, this will change to the Heroku server. The reason why you would the common reason why you want to use path over URL over path. So the common reason why you want to use this option is when you're sending out emails and you want to revert back to refer back to your application. Because when the user opens their email and you have a relative path, your client is going to think, oh, you want, like, so if I'm gmail.com, oh, you want me to open gmail.com/posts, right? And that's not going to make sense in that context. So you want to always refer back to your server.
Oh.
So that's why this method exists, and most likely why you folks haven't gotten around to it yet. But cool. All right, so what next? So I have get post, and it's pointing to post hashtag index. Now what?
You need a controller.
Okay, so I'm gonna just. How do I do that without using a jet?
Create a new file in the controllers.
Okay, and then what do I name this?
Is it post_controller? Right.
RB.
Cool. What does the posts controller inherit from?
Active record something? No, active.
Justin?
I don't know. Application controller.
All of your controllers that you make on your own will inherit from application controller. Application controller will inherit from action controller base, and this is like really weird. Like, why don't I just inherit from action controller base directly? And you could, except that the way Rails is set up is like anything that you want to happen anywhere in your application, you want to put in your like base controller. So application controller is like the root controller. If you have another controller inheriting from action controller base, then like you can wind up in two paths, and then you gotta make sure like which controller you're inheriting from, and it's kind of weird. Where this kind of acts as the main like source of where another method might be involved. So I can have like def foo, and then this controller will inherit that method as well because it's a subclass of application controller. So you typically want only one base controller, though I've seen applications where you have two and it becomes confusing quick, fast, in a hurry. Sometimes you'll have an API called like API base controller, but that will always inherit from application controller as well. Okay, cool. All right, so now I have my post controller. What does it need?
An index action.
An index action. And then now what?
You could put the logic in the index action, or you could.
Okay, so let's do that. What's the logic gonna be?
It's gonna be at posts plural equals post.all.
Okay. And now what?
We also need to create a view.
Okay. Where do I create stuff?
So in the view folder, you're gonna need to create a new file.
A new file?
Yeah.
In views?
Yeah.
Jackie, do you agree?
A new file. I think don't we need another folder? It's called.
What do I call the folder?
Drawing a blank.
Oh, post.
Plural or singular? What makes the most sense?
Plural?
Jack, do you agree?
No. Yes.
Okay. So the views folder has to relate with the name of the controller. So if you call this controller post controller, then your views folder is going to be singular.
Okay.
But because you named it post plural, our view folder is going to be plural.
But isn't that just like a classic, or like in Rails, models are always singular and controllers are always plural?
Yeah.
Or is that not necessarily the case?
I mean, that's typically the pattern that you want to follow. There are cases where you'll have like a home controller, and it doesn't make sense to say homes controller. So that's completely up to you. Like, and Rails will happily go along with it as long as all the names are correct. So like, as long as you have a home views folder, then it's like, cool, that's the folder that I'm going to be looking for all the views.
Okay.
So yeah. Okay. So what am I creating so I created a new file in Post. What am I naming it?
Index.html.erb.
Okay. Let's say these are the posts. Okay, so how do I list all of the posts?
You're gonna have to write ERB.
Okay. And how does that look like? So first, how do I start iterating through all the posts?
So you could do app posts dot each. Oh, you're gonna have to write that each do. for post and close it. And then so then you want to start
writing our posts, right? So let's just make this a little bit more HTML friendly. I guess each one is an article in and of itself. And then header, h2. I want to put the post title, so I can just do post.title, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll have a link here to. I'll have just a placeholder link here, but just say like view, and then hashtag. Oops. Stop being so helpful, Sublime. Okay, what's the difference between this notation versus this right here?
The one with the equal sign is shown to the user, but both of them run the logic.
Do you agree, Jackie?
Yeah, so the one with the equal sign is like something that's going to be like actually embedded on the page, whereas the top one's just running like Ruby that.
Cool. Okay, so yeah, you both are 100%. This will get rendered onto the page, and the other one will. Do I have enough to? So we don't really have the create yet. So the old-fashioned way would be to do like a new view, but just because of time. Let's create the view here, or like the new, like a form at the top of the page that says like, oh, you can create a new blog post here. So this is kind of more like almost like a forum, I guess, in that sense. Well, anyway, so let's say we want to have the ability to create a new post on the same page that we're showing all of the posts. How do I go about doing that?
You have to go less than %, form4, and then at post.
Plural?
Yes. Do post, or do F, sorry.
Jackie, do you agree?
Don't you need simple form gem?
I don't need the gem. I can just do. Rails comes with its own form for.
Okay.
Yeah, the simple gem one would be simple.
I think it is a singular.
You think posts?
It is going to be singular because for the new action we're going to do at post singular equals post dot create or post dot new.
Jackie, do you agree?
I think it should be singular too. Yeah.
Okay, so then this is not defined currently, right? So you're saying
No.
going back here and then doing post equals post new.
Oh, you're not putting it in its own method because we don't have the view for it?
Yeah, like we're gonna combine both the new and the index together.
Okay. Okay.
Does that look right?
I've never seen. Can you do that? I don't know.
You can do pretty much.
Well, if we're going to dump it all into one method, then should we just skip to create, so it will also save it?
So let's run through the scenario. Your user hits the get index page, and you show all of the posts, but at the same time you're creating a post.
So like you want the form to already be there, right? That's what you said.
Yeah, we want so we're starting to do that here.
Right.
Um, and so but you're saying we should do create here.
Um, can you do that? Don't you create something when you like submit it? When you create it when you submitted it, and not when you?
Right. So do we want new or do we want create?
New, right?
Justin?
Well, so if we do post dot new, then underneath that we're gonna do at post equals post dot create.
Hold on. Sorry. I'll be
Right. I'm just getting a little thrown off because it's all under one method. Hello?
I think he's
Oh.
So I was saying goodbye to the wife. So yeah, we are combining both the new and the index route, and you can totally do that. You don't want create here because you don't have, like, the user hasn't told you what title and what body is going to be.
Okay.
So you don't want to be putting in empty records into the database.
I see.
The other part is if you do a create here, this becomes really this is unrestful because get actions shouldn't be writing when you do a get request in REST, you are reassuring the client that it is not going to change the state of the application. This is called idempotent, and I can never remember how to spell it or say it. Idempotent. Oh, hey, I remember how to spell it. So this word you'll hear quite a bit in programming. It's basically saying that you can run the same function over and over and over and over and over and over again, and if you give it the same inputs, you'll get back the same result. So for instance, if I do google.com and I just refresh and refresh and refresh and refresh and refresh, I'll get the same resource. Granted, it might look a little different, but I'll get the same thing over and over and over and over again. Reassuring that I'm not changing my password or not changing my email or anything like that. Every time you type in a URL at the top, the browser does a GET request. So if I were to create a post every time someone hits the index, it would be very unrestful. And that could be really confusing to everyone who's using your application. Okay, so we have post new, and then here we're gonna create the post. So f.label, title, and then what from here? What I put here? I guess this is more.
Isn't it?
I guess it's more memorization than anything else. So I'll just throw this out. Body, text area, body, and then f.submit. Okay.
I thought text field creates a smaller box than text area, right?
So text field creates a input tag, which looks like this, and then has name. Text area is a different tag of in itself, a different tag itself. Yeah. Okay. Cool. So this is not gonna work because we don't have a a URL to send this form to. So we have to go back to routes and then create our method. So what do I do here?
So is it a post request?
Yes, it's a post request. And Rails is going to assume that because you're trying to create a new post, that the route is going to be /posts. And then what is the action that we're doing?
It's still an index action, isn't it? Or I mean,
Okay. So
or I guess it's a create action, right?
the create action or the index action?
I mean, I think it's the index action since we don't have a create.
Well, we could always write a create action.
Okay, well then it would be the create.
Justin, do you agree?
Well, yeah, because then when that will actually make it work.
Yeah, it's create.
Okay. So yeah. I don't know if I need that. Okay, so if we had made it index, it would be really difficult to then have to say like if request.method is equal to post or something, then we do create post else like do all this stuff. And since we already have the router doing this for us, we can just create a new method called create. All right, cool. So, what do I do here?
At post goes post.create.
Okay. How do I get the body?
We're gonna need to pass it the post params, but we have to create that privately.
What am I typing?
So
Enter.
write private, and then underneath define post params, and then params dot require post dot permit title body.
Okay. Jackie, what does this do?
It allows you to. It's allowing us to like extract the title and the body from whatever the person has inputted.
Yeah. It's also whitelisting what parameters get passed to the model. So there was an issue in Rails way back when this didn't really exist, and people were just saying, okay. So, what was happening was, let's, for instance, say that we're creating a user. The client could then pass any parameter to this endpoint, including things like admin true. So they would be creating an account that was an admin. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I can actually show you how you can do that. But so I'll come back to that. I'll show you how
I have
to do
a question though for clarification. When we require like the post, um, why is it plural and not singular? Because isn't it referring to the table, and the table is
To be
singular?
honest, I don't know why. I don't know why it's plural.
Like, does it matter?
It does, because the params look like posts, and then it has title, food, and then body bar. So what you're saying here is the params has to have a field called posts, and inside of that post you're permitting these two fields, which is what you want. The reason why it's plural, it's kind of like what Rails does, and like I'll show you why in a second where that's coming from.
Okay.
Okay, so we created the post. What do we want to do here? Is that all we want to do?
No, we want to redirect them back to the either to the post itself or to the index page.
So let's just okay, cool. So seeing that this doesn't have a view, do we need to do add post, or can we do just regular post?
Oh, we could just do regular post.
Do you agree, Justin?
I don't agree because I've seen it as the instance variable, and I haven't seen it as a regular variable.
Okay, so you can actually delete the entire thing because you're not referring to post ever again. Even if you did have like posts like this, this would probably be a little bit easier to understand. And the reason being is because you only want to create and assign instance variables if you know that it's going to be used in the view that you're rendering. So in create, we're not rendering a view, we're just redirecting, which means that we don't need any instance variables.
Okay.
So yeah, that's the only time that so not only passing things to the view would be a case where you would want to use instance variables, but also maybe like you have a helper method down here that needs access to this same object. Though in that case, I would argue you might want to just pass that local variable into that method so that it doesn't get screwed up, but that's something different. So you don't need it because you're not rendering a view, and there's nothing else that's going to be using it. Yeah. Okay. So I don't want to get into that yet. So cool. So I think we have enough to start the server. Would you guys agree?
Yeah.
Yes.
Cool. So don't explode. Oh, what happened?
Is it because you put post path plural?
Define two as options. No, I think
Oh no.
you Same name as options, or you may overlook definition. Resource with the same naming for the latter. Does make sense, Rails. It's a different action. What are you doing? That's so dumb. Okay. So then what does this do? Sorry. Oh, no, I know what that does. I'm not tripping out, right? Like,
No, it is plural. Post for index.
okay, well,
Are you sure you could put the new action in the index like that?
yeah, it's not, it has a problem with this, which is beyond me right now. So I'm not gonna worry about it right now. That's so weird. So that means we can't use this here, which sucks. Okay. I'll have to look into that later. That is weird. All right, so yay. Oh, so do we know why we're seeing this?
We didn't create a root.
Yeah. We want to do like roots. Root to. Yeah, cool. So it looks like we created a view, but we didn't have a title in it, and that's because I did it on the console. Let's just do, what's that? Destroy all. Okay, but that still doesn't explain why we're not seeing the form, which I'm confused about. So let's go back here. Oh, okay. So what happened? Why am I not seeing the form?
Because you're missing an equal sign. Oh no.
Where am I missing the equal sign?
Maybe on the form 4 at the very beginning, the first line.
Yeah. Cool. Man, that was ugly. Oh well. My first post, foobar. Yay. Okay, so create posts. Oh, so you might be right. It might be posts. And so how you can check is, oh wait, do you folks know how to use DevTools?
Lightweight.
Okay, so if you do Command-Shift-C, you'll get this like weird thing where you can select things on the DOM, and it'll open up in the HTML. So what I'm doing is I'm clicking on the form, and then I'm opening the form, and then we can look at what the form for thing did. And does all this stuff here that we don't really need to worry about. But here is the important thing. You see how it says name, post, title? That's how Rails nests params. And Justin, you're right. It's not plural, but it is singular. So change that to singular, like so. And that'll be good. So what's cool about Chrome is that you can actually edit the HTML here. So I could totally do hidden and then say I am an admin. My value is true. So, and I can click away, and all of a sudden I have this hidden input tag that says this post is an admin. And if I go back to the code and I just do params posts, then that would be bad, right? Because someone created an admin post who may not have the permission to do so. Make sense?
Yeah.
Gahi?
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, first blog post. That. Okay, cool. Yay. And then view doesn't work because we haven't hooked that up yet. So view is pretty self-explanatory, I feel like. What I want to do is edit. So let's change this to edit. And how would I go about doing this?
You have to go to the post controller.
Okay, so Jackie, where do I go?
You want to? Oh, you're gonna
I
have
want
to create.
yeah, create.
You have to create a controller and a path for it too.
Okay, so you want me to create a controller method first?
Sure.
Okay, what is it called? Sorry, say that again.
Just define like edit, like the edit method.
Okay, and then what am I doing here?
You're gonna at post equals post dot find. No, post dot find. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
find by or find like.
What's the difference?
Find will if there is no. If the post that you're looking for is not there, it'll throw you an error, raise an error. Is that correct?
Uh-huh, and then find by won't? Is that what you're saying?
I think find by will just return nil.
Yeah.
Okay, yep. So params, then what is a param?
Wait, so we want to do find by, right?
Okay. If I do this, and someone tries to edit a post that doesn't exist, and I do form for, I'm going to get an error on the form for because form is nil. And form can't create a form on a nil object. So we would have to say like there's like we have to do some logic that says like, oh, we have to handle whether a post is there or not. I would in this case say it's okay to just have it raise an error.
Okay.
Okay.
Because it kind of handles that logic for you at this point. And the error, so let's just go down this route and then I'll show you what I'm talking about. Cool, so do we need anything else in this method?
But you want, oh wait, no.
Cool. All right, Justin, what else do we need?
Well, if you want to say in the post controller, then we're going to need an update action.
Okay.
Or if you want to do the route, yeah, we could do that also.
Up to you. So let's do the update. What am I doing here?
So again, you're going to need to do the at post equals post dot find. Yeah. ID params ID, and then you're gonna need to do at post dot update attributes post params, and then you're gonna need to redirect it either to the post itself or to the index post.
Okay. So we don't have a post show, so we're just going to redirect back to index.
Okay.
And now that we set up the root path, we can do root path. Okay. Jackie, is there something that we could dry up?
Like when you're looking for the,
Yeah. So this right here. How do I do that?
you can define like another method called like
Find post.
find post. Yeah.
Okay. And then now what?
You could write find post. Yeah. Then wouldn't you just be able to? You'd just be able to call the method up in the like.
So we still have like this duplicate code here. Is there another way we could do this, Justin?
Yeah, so you're gonna want to add a before action at the very top, and then you would do colon find post, and then depending on how many of the actions needed, you could do either like only and then choose the methods that need it, or do accept and choose the methods that don't need it. But in this case, we only have 2 methods that need it, so we could do only, yeah.
Okay. So Jackie, what this is doing is saying before any of these methods get hit, run a method called find posts, which is this guy right here. But you can also pass it in an option that says only on edit and update. So that's what this is doing.
Okay.
So in this case, you would want the at post instance variable so that these methods can access that variable. Otherwise, like update, you could just do post like a local variable here. Okay, cool. So Justin, you did that. Jackie, what do we need next?
You need to create the routes.
Okay, cool. So, what is the routes gonna look like? Let's do edit first. What is edit gonna look like?
You're gonna get slash post. Is it like don't you put the ID here? Yeah, slash edit.
Post. Okay, and then what is the next route, Justin, that we need?
Then we're going to need to do a patch, and then / post ID, and then post update.
Cool, awesome. Okay, what else am I missing?
Well,
The edit view.
Yeah, the edit view. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna grab some water. Go ahead. Okay. Edits. Not HTML. Not ERB. Save. Okay. So here we probably want to just do like or editing, and I'm just going to do post.title. Cool. And then I just want to show the form here. right? So I can just copy this and paste it, and everything should be dandy, but I'm now not drawing code. So Jackie, how can I maybe extract this markdown to something else and then not have to repeat myself?
Can't you put it in like a layout?
Not so much a layout, but a partial. Um, so a layout is something like this where you have like a header and you have like a title and there's like the basic HTML, the base HTML markdown, and then this yield is where your views are going to get stuck into. So we don't want that. We want a partial. And how would I? So I'm going to create a new file here. What should this file be called?
Does it start with an underscore?
It does start with an underscore. And because this is the form for the post, I'm just going to name it form. So if you don't name it the underscore, Rails will actually throw an error. Okay, cool. So now I can pull that out, put it in form, save that. Okay, now here, what do I do, Justin?
Is it at import, or is that SAS? No, that's SAS. I think it's require. I can't remember.
It's render.
Render.
And I'm going to render. So same thing with works. This. Okay, so nothing changed, which is great because that's exactly what we want. If I hit edit, oh yeah, that doesn't change because that didn't update this. Dang, it's easier, it's much easier if I have a edit posts and then post.id, or just post should be fine. New. Oh yeah, edit posts path. That's what it is. Sweet.
At post. Oh no.
No, because we're iterating through the post, so we have a post post path. It also wants. So okay, this is good. What is it telling me that I need?
That you have a undefined method post path.
Yeah. So what? How do I fix this?
Oh, is it? Do you have to make at? Is it at posts? Is it plural?
What? So where?
The form, but no, it was working before, so that's not right. Never mind. Is it form for at posts? Posts?
It's not plural because we want to just create a form for individual posts, right?
Yeah. So error is saying there's no.
So let's go back to the undefined method post path for class blah blah blah. Okay, so Rails is really nice and really stupid at the same time. So it doesn't know that we didn't use resources posts. And so it doesn't have access to all these nice helper methods. So what it's doing is like, oh, this is a post class. So already has an ID. So that means we're updating the post, which means I'm gonna do a patch method to this post path, and we don't have a patch or update method to the post path. Like if we look at our routes, we don't even have a post path. So that's why it's like freaking out. So I think if I just do path, refresh, no, yeah. So Rails relies on all of these things to make, like, Form 4 relies on resources post to be there. Otherwise, like, it kind of gets wonky. Like, it gets upset that it can't find the path. Like, just how you.
And that's Form 4 that's bringing up those errors, because when you tried to do it on the index action as posts, it was giving you an error when you used it, but not when you didn't use it.
Right, because it can assume that the post is because the post doesn't have an ID, it's not saved to the database. It can assume, okay, the path is just going to be /post, and it doesn't need a form helper. The reason why it wants a form helper is the same reason I wanted a form helper, is because it can then do this. It can just call the helper, the post path, and then pass it in the object, and then this method will just extract the ID from the object. So you can also tell it explicitly like what URL you want it to post to, by saying post and then post.id. But the problem with this is now that because this is a partial and it's being so let me just show you. Like this will work here just fine now because it knows I'm telling it explicitly what action to go to, and you can see it right here. Here's the action, post ID, and then it's gonna say a post. Oh, so this should be patch. But if I go back to the index and I refresh this page, and I look at what this is posting to, I guess this still would work. Let's try. Will you work? Oh yeah, maybe. So I mean, you could also do it that way as well, apparently. But there's a lot of bugs that we haven't ran into that this is caused by. So it's typically better to just have that either this helper method be defined or using resources. But because we kind of want to go over how to write these individually, we didn't use resources. So
is this how you write your applications? Like when you're actually like working for a company, like you don't use resources?
There are cases when I do, and there are cases when I don't. It really depends on the application itself. Let's see. The last application that was open source that I worked on. No, so we only use resources, and we limited to what resources we needed. But I can totally imagine seeing something like messages, and maybe I only want the top messages. So I do something like member to, or no, not member, like collection to, and then I have to do like get top to messages top or something like that. So there are some times where like you have like custom URLs and you need to point it to a different action. So yeah, I use resources, but yeah, I also do these as well.
Cool.
So yeah, that makes a little bit more sense. Posts like the top posts. Okay, cool. So that's it. Did y'all have any questions? Was that helpful, sort of?
Yeah, it was helpful to look at the things I would normally just skim over.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, resources is definitely something that does a lot of magical work for you in the background. And it's not always clear what it does.
Yeah.
All right, cool. That's it for today. So I'm gonna start recording.